The movie starts on August 12, 2011, with news spreading worldwide about an unusual meteor shower near Japan. An unknown enemy starts attacking the coastline with military-style tactics. Los Angeles is evacuated, and chaos ensues globally. Months before this event, Marine soldiers at Santa Monica's training base were getting ready for deployment. Staff Sergeant Michael Nance arrives at the Marine base and is welcomed by his men. As the situation worsens, the sergeant's men try to maintain normalcy despite meteorites hitting California. The staff sergeant's resignation is postponed as the company needs him, and he looks concerned when assigned to Lieutenant Martinez's platoon. The military mobilizes to defend Los Angeles, speculating that the meteors share a common shape, suggesting a terrorist attack. They issue a localized warning and monitor the news as the coastal area continues to be targeted. The reporter sees a few creatures moving along the shoreline, but then the camera sees a group of creatures that do not appear to be humans. The Marines are moving from an air base in California to protect Los Angeles. As they are on the road toward the coast, the lieutenant introduces his staff sergeant to his men, and the soldiers make fun of him, while other soldiers read the Bible to calm themselves. They are headed straight to the Santa Monica airport, where they will be rescuing civilians and searching for more volunteers to help. As they walk through, they can't see anything due to the smoke from the enemy's meteors. The road is eerie and strange, and soon a dog appears. A few bombs are dropping really hard, causing the group to panic. Now they're being chased by alien creatures, and they don't know how to get out. One of the soldiers finds an exit and goes into a house to help the wounded soldiers from the big attack. As they're running, one of the men, Lenahan, struggles to get out, and now he's lost. He's on his radio, telling them where he is, but they don't know because his radio keeps switching off. He's now up against a creature, and they're shooting at each other. Lenahan falls into a pool, and the team comes to get him out, but the creature takes a shot at them. According to Lenahan, the creature did not die because he had shot it several times. They decided to drop a bomb on the pool to destroy the creature. As they were moving toward the police station, one of their men was hit by a large bomb and suffered thermal burns to his face and neck. As they were keeping watch, they noticed moving bodies nearby, and when they were about to shoot, they realized they were friends and soldiers from the Air Force. Together with the Air Force, the Marines were now moving to the station while helping the injured men. The two men were exploring the rest of the police station when they heard a noise. They turned their signal off to avoid being detected by the creature, and as they went through the wall pretending to be U.S. Marines, they found 5 frightened civilians requesting help. Soon after, a medical team arrived to help the injured men, and they proceeded to put them in the helicopter. The team can't fit more people on the aircraft, so they can't include civilians. As the helicopter passes by, it is hit by a massive bomb that comes out of nowhere, causing the helicopter to crash. When they look at the burning aircraft, they see the creatures hovering around it. They get more scared because they know that the alien creatures have air power too, so they call for help. Corporal Kevin Harris gets overwhelmed by the fact that some of his team were wiped out in a matter of seconds. His team members calm him down, and he quickly regroups. The lieutenant also gets overwhelmed by the loss of 4 of his men, and soon after, they realize that they can no longer use helicopters, so they decide to go to a forward operating base. Now they are watching the creatures and finding that they have both lookouts and leadership. They are also listening to the news saying that the creatures are going after Earth's water supply, since Earth is very abundant in water. The 2 men of the watch then found a bus, and the sergeant and lieutenant thought it might be working. As they were searching for a way out, they saw the creature, who was gasping for air and nearly unconscious. This alien appears to have his weapons surgically attached to him. The sergeant wanted to shoot at it, but the others stopped him. Unlike him, they wanted to find the best place to shoot the alien. A civilian offered help because she was a veterinarian. The 2 lookout men then saw a group of aliens walking around and getting closer to the police station. As the sergeant was stabbing the alien, it appears that he didn't die. The other 2 men responsible for operating the bus were now working for the aliens, and the aliens got into the north entrance of the station. The lieutenant also goes down to the south entrance with the civilians, while the bus goes through it to rescue the other team members. The lookout, Imlay, throws a bomb on the creatures, and the tech and sergeant shoot the creature dead. Then another alien comes down to the entrance, so Imlay throws a bomb again. The sergeants jump on the bus to get out of the station, and they shoot at the creatures coming at them. As they ride, they calculate that they are 6 miles from the forward operating base, and they estimate the ride from their location up to their destination is about 30 minutes. Soon after, they hear strange noises from above, and the sergeant orders the bus to stop. Minutes later, they see hundreds of creatures flying in a circle across east downtown Los Angeles. They turn off their radios, cell phones, and anything that has radiation because the aliens can trace their signal. Sergeant Mike gets off the bus while the rest of the team keeps an eye on the enemy. The staff sergeant goes in the other direction and places the turned-on radio in a gas station. Meanwhile, the enemy goes the other way, and the staff sergeant throws a bomb at it. The rest of the team starts to worry about him, but he gets up and walks back to the bus. After a couple of minutes of driving, They are about 2.5 miles from the FDROB, but the drone creature attacks them immediately. The lieutenant is fighting the fire, while the staff sergeant is protecting the civilians. The battle degenerates into chaos, as the invaders are everywhere, and the soldiers are shot from the bridge. They shoot the car in which Stavro lives, and they lose another member of their team. One of the soldiers gets hit again while trying to treat a wound, and an alien approaches them. With no other choice, the civilian fires back, but he also gets shot. The lieutenant is injured behind a bus, and the staff sergeant refuses to leave him alone. They argue about the need to move their team and civilians off the road, and the lieutenant insists they evacuate everyone. With explosives on the bus, the lieutenant throws them at the aliens ahead, causing them to burn to death as per the lieutenant's orders before his death. However, the other team members start to suspect the staff sergeant of something. Following orders, they flee the bombing area and find shelter in a store, where they gather medicines and first aid kits. The injured civilian and his son receive treatment while the staff sergeant talks to him, asking him to promise to take care of his child. Their conversation is interrupted by an urgent news report revealing that the creatures are using water as both power and fuel, causing a decrease in ocean levels. Additionally, they learn about an extraterrestrial command and control center. Shortly after, the Air Force gets ready to bomb the control center, counting down from 10. However, to their surprise, nothing happens. They look around the Santa Monica airport, realizing the expected bombs didn't drop because the operation base was destroyed. While they search the map for an intact target, one of their comrades delivers the heartbreaking news that the brave civilian has died. Feeling frustrated, the sergeant goes upstairs and finds the son of the deceased father crying. The staff sergeant comforts the child, rushing to hug him. Later, the sergeant instructs the men to move forward, stressing the importance of not losing any more civilians. A soldier approaches him respectfully, mentioning he lost his brother under the sergeant's command. Some soldiers suspect the sergeant of causing harm to his men, but he defends himself, stating he would rather have been the one to suffer. He assures them he never forgets his men, reciting the names of the fallen soldiers, along with their U.S. military social security numbers. Encouraging them to persevere, he urges them to keep going without giving up. Shortly after, the men prepare for defense and departure from the area. Despite the creatures forming a defensive stance, it will take them a while to reach the next evacuation point, but the soldiers know they must press on. They have escorted the civilians to a light armored vehicle and are now calling for assistance via their radio. It is now just 2 minutes away until the helicopter descends, and the staff sergeant checks on the civilians to ensure their safety. With a few more rides, a small group of aliens approaches, prompting them to increase their speed. The sergeant finds himself battling alone with the creatures, but he successfully takes them down. When they take to the air, preparing for the helicopter's arrival, they notice the aircraft's power fluctuating. This realization leads the sergeant to believe the command and control center is nearby. He wants to land, but he's afraid the helicopter might not have enough power to fly again. So he gives the lieutenant's letter to the civilian and declares Imlay as the commander. The sergeant climbs up to the closest roof using a rope, and the other soldiers follow him to reach the command center. The technical sergeant informs them that they need to search in the basement, so they hurry to find it. Walking through dark corridors and canals, they encounter an alien triggering another battle. Taking cover behind thick rocks, they strategize who will fight and who will provide support. One soldier calls for backup, and they split into 2 groups positioned in opposite corners. Despite being targeted by the enemy's drone, they continue aiming at them with a laser. The creature's drone bombards their location, reducing some of them to ash. Nevertheless, they persist in fighting and bombing the enemy while awaiting rescue. Unfortunately, Imlay gets stuck between some rocks, and the staff sergeant gets hit hard in their strong armor. This makes the soldiers happy, and they start cheering. Suddenly, they are surprised as the center of the ship gets attacked. Drones start pulling them away, but the sergeant stays focused, aiming a laser at them. The creatures are using the drones to protect their ship. Finally, Imlay gets free from the rocks, but more shots are fired at the ship, making it explode. Tech Sergeant Santos shoots down the last remaining drone, while the staff sergeant uses the laser to make a big bomb through the control center. The aliens are shot manually, and the soldiers also shoot at them. A helicopter comes to rescue them, and they land at a temporary base where they rest and eat. The soldiers leave, proud of their heroic efforts in destroying the ship and saving civilians. The movie concludes with the soldiers rearming and joining forces to take back Los Angeles. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.